Hello, my name is V-Shing from DVS. Welcome to my video. In my previous video, I talked about various topics on live streaming. Things like what's the difference between a live streaming with a single camera versus a multiple camera. What is the cable like SDI versus HDMI, which is better or better utilization or usage. I also talk about encoder, whether it's a hardware encoder is better or versus a software encoder. I also talk about more in depth, like why you want to do streaming, what you want to do to stream, and how you want to stream. All these are parts of element will contribute to the streaming workflow. Today's video, we're going to talk about tips and tricks to improve your video, your streaming video. All these were based on single camera production. I maybe will do a multiple camera production tips, but today is on a single camera. Bear in mind, this whole video is for tips for single video cameras. First thing is very important is sound. Sound is very important element in the live streaming workflow. Bad image but with good sound is better than good image but poor sound. Yeah, you take a look at the video that is poor sound, you feel irritated, you turn down, you're reluctant to continue see, even though the video quality is good but the sound are not there. There's a lot of wind blowing, a lot of echo, a lot of external noise. But if your video quality is not very good but the sound is still good, you still can convey the message to the customer or the user or the people who want to hear and learn about it. Still a very good thing. That's why sound is very important. One of the tricks to improve the sound is choose a room with enough furniture. Why I say that? Because if I choose an empty room, they're bound to be echo, because our wall is always a concrete wall. Concrete wall will act as a bounce to it. You bounce the sound back, so you can actually hear some repeating voice in the background like echo. So a room with furniture is very nice. Just like this room I chose. This is my study room. Three corners is filled with rack of shelf for my books. But I always darken my background so you don't really notice it. Another thing to help to improve the sound is use the clip-on sound. Clip-on mic, so your voice are directly to it. Your voice are not going to the camera directly, but through the clip-on mic, and on the mic have a transmitter, and this transmitter transmit to the camera, then it put it into the camera, the sound. So the sound are recording, like my case is recording from the mic through a receiver transmitter directly to the camera. It's applied to the handphone concept. Trying to record a handphone directly from the handphone mic, the sound can capture a lot of other elements of noise. Aircon sound, fan, rotating fan, all this could be captured. But if I narrow it down, the sound can only capture from here, this part. Then I can actually buy this type of things like this. I can connect to it. directly to handphone. For handphone, the good news is there's a smaller type of clip-on in the market. So go and look out for it. I will show you example on the screen. The one that I was very happy for used with the handphone. Alright, this way you have get a very good sound that capturing only on the subject who speak. There's other sound, but it will not so clear, not so loud. So because of the position of the mic, it will help you a lot. Next thing is image quality. Another factor, if you can improve the sound, the next thing you're trying to improve the image quality of the video. Proper lighting is very good way of make the image looks better. See, like now I'm in a room, I actually off my light. My concept is I off the light in my room. I use a light on top of the camera to shoot at me, and that's where I'm capturing. Alright, capturing, so I hope this image will have a better quality image. Let's say you don't have the light for the camera. For example, you're using a handphone to do a recording. Go as close as possible to the window. When you go close, make sure you open the curtain. You make sure the window, if the window is tinted, open the window also so more lights come in. The trick is more lights. So much so until you feel glaring by the light coming in. But this also means the camera can capture a lot of color information to go into the camera, to the video, to the digital format. So do that way, it will be helps a lot. Okay, but never stand in front of the window. Okay, the common trick sometimes you see is you stand in front of windows, or some people stand in front of a TV, right? And because TV is brighter than you, or the window is brighter than you, the camera sensor detect the brighter subject, and they calibrate the sensor to the light, which in this case to the window behind you or the TV behind you. So that's why you should not stand in front of a window or in front of a TV, because this concept will create a backlight. A backlight will make the subject you're shooting blur or pixelated. If you have choice of using a handphone or a computer webcam, I strongly recommend to choose the handphone over the computer camera. There's many reasons. One of the reasons is the handphone technology, the handphone sensor, the handphone resolution, and the amount of video bit rate they can capture, frame rate they can capture, was way superior than the one that at the computer. So I strongly recommend to choose a handphone than a computer to record your live stream. Of course, for those people who have some money, some budget, they don't want to use handphone, they want to choose a camera. For a single camera live stream, I actually recommended a digital still camera over a video camera, because a digital still camera, number one, is smaller, compact compared to a video camera, and the sensor and the resolution in this digital still camera are way better than the video camera. And if you buy the interchange digital still camera, you can get a better lens to improve the quality. So this is my tips for image quality. Number 3, I'm going to talk about encoder. After you make sure your light is done correctly, after you make sure you get the right camera or the right lighting for the camera to get the video quality. Now the third one is encoder. Encoder is the one that convert your video signal into MPEG-4 H.264 to do the streaming. So usually for those people using single camera, they most probably use the software encoder that can install to their computer, their notebook or their laptop or their desktop computer, and the software they usually choose is maybe OBS, and there's many other like XSplit, Remix and Wirecast. All these encode, capture, encode, convert and stream all in one software that running on the computer. But if you're using this, please remember one tip for this software encoder. The most important tips is make sure you shut down all the app that can be running in the background. Alright, things like antivirus, malware, or even operating system update. If you set as auto, please disable it, because live streaming require a lot of processor power. If you are doing a live stream which really take very high performance of your processor power, can easily take 70% or above, it depends on your notebook or your computer, suddenly your antivirus up running, or the malware or the updating. All this will compete with the processor power. When that happens, computer usually put the streaming priority down. In other words, they give less priority, they give less quality control or whatever. So in other words, you face things like audio is not synced, or the video quality drop, or there's a frame drop, or the frame jerk. This could be happen. So for software encoder, these are tips. Shut it down. All that are not supposed to run. Look it out, check it what is the app that will run on the background, and shut it down. All of it. One important thing that you need to buy for your software encoder is HDMI to USB converter. Or for Apple user, maybe HDMI to Thunderbolt converter. There's a lot of cheap one in the market. I hope you don't compromise buying a cheap one by getting a good one. The trick is get a good one. Okay, the mid-range one will be quite reasonable good, because why converter, such converter can cost between RM60 ringgit to 300, or there's a called broadcast quality level or professional quality level 1000 plus and above. So my recommend is choose somewhere in the middle to assure the conversion is done beautiful, reliable. Why you need it? Why you need a HDMI to USB converter? The reason is you want to convert the video signal from your camera into a digital signal which your software encoder will recognize it. So get this converter will actually improve your quality. Number 4, tips. And the last tips of today is internet connection. in my previous video, I did mention about how important this internet connection is. My rule of thumb is, if I decided to stream my video, regardless 720 or 1080 quality, important thing to look at is the video sampling bitrate. If I decided this video's sampling bitrate go high, example like maybe 3 meg, I make sure my bandwidth is 3 times the size of it, minimum. That means 9 meg. Okay, so this video sampling bitrate is also related to quality of the video of streaming that you are converting to. So, rule of the thumb, remember, 3 times the size. Your bandwidth must be 3 times the size of the target video sampling bitrate that you are doing. Okay, so if you want doing at 10 megabit per second, your internet connection must have a speed of 30 meg per second minimum, constantly. Just take a note on that. But that is not my main tips for today, this video. The main tips for this video is wired is always better than Wi-Fi. There's a lot of people like to use Wi-Fi from your notebook to your router, and from router send it in. For video streaming, I strongly recommend to use wired. Cause wired have one advantage over Wi-Fi. Wired, there's nothing else external can interfere your bandwidth with wired. Wi-Fi, external factor can interfere it. For example, wind blow, or the where you are shooting the video and where's your Wi-Fi receiver and your router can affect the quality of the bandwidth. So, if you are using network, wire it, because that will cut down other external factors that can hindrance your transmitting. Video streaming, you need to constant the same bandwidth, so that will not drop in quality or drop in audio. So very, very important, wired it. Okay, that's all for today. I hope these tips will help you to improve yourself to get a better video streaming. That's all for today. I'm V-Shing from DVS. Goodbye. God bless.